Disclaimer. I am very, very tired. And when I am very tired and alternating between manic excitement about what I'm reading and exhaustion, well, I tend to mix up my Joseph Campbells and Carl Jungs. Blame it on the C's and the J's. It's not the first time I've done it. So my apologies, I will be accidentally switching these two names inappropriately at various times throughout this episode. Hopefully it's somewhat forgivable because Joseph Campbell's work, which we're studying, is based heavily upon Carl Jung's work, specifically in the domain of the collective unconscious, place from which these myths are generated, the archetypes, the actors on the stage which compose these myths, and the path to individuation, being a stand-in for the mythological apotheosis. So the ideas are heavily related, but my apologies for the confusion. May the show go on.
This week's episode was brought to you by Marcus Gibbert and Zoe Katzen. Thank you, Marcus Gibbert and Zoe Katzen. It's with the generous support of listeners just like you that helps keep our ragtag bunch of bunnies podcasting about topics that are just too intellectual or strange for the normal inhabitants of consensus reality. Which is why we need your help to keep the holograms working so when the space lasers nuke us from orbit, the real podcasting studio can remain obscured from damage, both physical and psychic. Maintaining this series of ultra-convincing podcast studio holograms is very expensive, and we appreciate your continued support. If you'd like to help us keep the decoy hologram array working at exaggeratingly full power, please ignore the blinking red light and visit www.patreon.com/thewholerabbit, where your monthly donation of just $5 will not only help us keep the cloaking device running, you'll get the extended version of this one episode. Psych! You'll get instant access to our entire frickin' library of extended episodes, which if you listened from start to finish, you'll probably become an old person with arthritis before the end. That's how often we record. But not only that, I'll send you a 5x5 high-quality vinyl sticker of our Bonnie Baphomet cover art at no additional cost. And if that were not enough, I'll throw in the secret keys to our Discord server, which is a watering hole for mental mutants and lagomorphs. If you like the whole rabbit, want to see us succeed, but really need that $5 for a pack of M&Ms and a Four Loko, who can blame you, consider giving us a like, subscribe, or share on your social media platform with millions of followers. Just kidding. If you actually have 1 million followers and retweet the Whole Rabbit podcast, they absolutely will send UFOs to your summer home and transform it into a high-security black site where they store cryogenically frozen centaurs. It's practically an inevitability. In this week's episode, we take the first step on the journey through the hero of 1,000 Faces by C.G. Jung and discuss, with nerd-like passion, the nuance surrounding each specific stage of the hero's journey as explained in the text. For a podcast that geeks out about symbolism, it doesn't get much more bread and butter than this. In the free side of the show, we make it through the first 4 stages of the hero's journey: the mundane world, the call to adventure, refusal of the call, my favorite, and supernatural aid, touching upon the variety, or lack thereof, you can expect in each stage while using mythology, both modern and classic, as guideposts along the way. I can't help but bring up the Matrix. In the extended show, we discuss crossing the threshold, the tremendous ordeal of being swallowed within the belly of the whale, and the laundry list of trials each hero faces on their path to either Mordor or tax season. Thank you, and enjoy the show. I always cheated on my psychology tests.
Oh?
I don't know what that says about me. I tried getting a mentor to teach me about creatures in Greek mythology. He said, I'll give you a mini tour. A minute tour. It's not just me, though. I heard Mike Tyson gets really upset if you talk to him about Norse mythology.
Yeah?
Why, because of the tattoos?
Apparently, it's a Thor subject.
Oh, no.
All I really know about mythology is Medusa gets me rock hard.
Oh my god.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Whole Rabbit, where we don't just tell you that the world is run by an amphibious overclass of psychotic shapeshifters that live on the moon. Nay, we also explore how being embedded into a physical human incarnation becomes a crucible for the soul, our life struggles becoming the hammer to shape it, quenched in the blood of our fathers and steeled by the goddess on our return home, because this week we're discussing The Hero of 1,000 Faces by C.G. Jung. That's what he preferred to call himself, as C.G. Jung. Don't call him Carl. I'm your host, Luke Madrid, also known as Hack Rabbit. I'm joined this week by our buddy officers in the field, the Queen of Canines, Mari-sama.
You will all bow wow to me.
The Shade of the Goddess, Heka Astra.
Hello.
And the Hammer of Hephaestus, Tim Hacker.
Dude, Hephaestus is married to like the most beautiful goddess ever, so that's kind of sick.
Well, considering how important the hero's journey is for a podcast that breaks down symbolism in pretty much everything, how do we even introduce this topic? I guess in short, the hero's journey is not just, as Carl Jung suggests, a mirror to the proper psychological process needed to accomplish enough personal insight to live an actually good life, which is, I guess, deep in and of itself. It actually, at its deeper levels, to put it bluntly, is a universal path of attaining union with God. Like, you want to be psychologically healthy? That's just the free trial, buddy. You want to meet God, you're going to have to break out the tarot cards and the going beyond what society has laid out for you. In short, Hero with 1,000 Faces, as much of Carl Jung's work, is very much about the method of psychology, but directed towards the aim of religion. Although he's notorious for being a touch coy about it, I guess other times a little too earnest, that the healing powers of psychology are not purely a new invention of the last century, but a modernization of an ancient, even mystic formula that is hard-baked into the universe and inseparable from the story of each and every one of our lives. In some ways, I guess you could say this is the rules to the game of life, as Jung puts it in the text.
Dream is the personalized myth. Myth, the depersonalized dream. Both myth and dream are symbolic in the same general way of the dynamics of the psyche.
Just think about that for a minute. So, your unconscious mental structure is made of dreams, images, archetypes, etc. And these dreams work almost chemically the way archetypes and symbols work in greater myth. So each dream you have, even daydream or vision, even free association, you're tapping into the mythology of you. You are the world and your dreams are your mythology. And then, if you think about mythology, it's just the dream, but without a dreamer. Or it's the dream of the culture that it came from, you know?
It's the dream of a million people at once.
Yes, go ahead.
And while a mythology and a dream is symbolic and not necessarily real, it is made up of components of real life, like everyday happenings. So there is some truth embedded. Even if it's a myth or a dream, there is always an element of truth to it.
So you guys know I'm pretty much programmed in an ancient Egyptian fashion, and something that you noticed right off the bat is that it utilizes universal symbolism. And universal symbolism is essentially what myths are based on. So myths are like the cultural application of universal symbolism. And then that cultural application that is myth of symbolism is then relative to the person. So you have like this macrocosmic myth, and then it's related to the individual in a microscopic fashion. So however it relates to you, and it gains a lens once it becomes personified.
I didn't think we were going to talk about the Kabbalistic tree of life, but that's what your comment reminds me of. In short, if we were going to apply the tree of life to what we're talking about today, we could think of the human soul as akin to Tifereth. And the archetypes that we're going to be talking about are how that clear white light is split up down in Netzach and then applied cultural masks over in Hode. So throughout Hero of 1,000 Faces, those are in fact the 1,000 faces. Those 1,000 faces are applied to Hode. The like 6 or 7 archetypes, those belong in Netzach. I guess that's our little Kabbalatry commentary. But ultimately, regardless of the culture, regardless of the archetype, they all split off from the clear white light of God above. So like it's a path back to the divine, no matter what culture you're part of, no matter what mythology you're looking at. And in my opinion, some of the modern mythologies we love so much, ones that have been put on film, those are sometimes equally as powerful, if not better, than some of the classics. That's just my opinion. I'm going to be talking about mythology as if that is true.
It's interesting too because like having a dream is like your personal psyche pulling this reflective mirror up to this and trying to make sense of it like through your own relativities. I've got all these individual lenses and I'm going to be introspective about what's going on and how it relates to me, and then you end up with your dreams, and sometimes they don't make a lot of sense and they're highly symbolic, right?
Yes, and the fact that we all speak a mythological language is a bit how you've explained to me off air. You have older brothers, and so you learned how to not make the same mistakes by watching how much trouble your older brothers got in. Mythology's a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Like, we learned from Oedipus not to our mom, for instance.
I don't think we had to learn that from him to not do that. But yeah.
Frankly, some people do.
I'm trying to remember who it was that shacked up with a hoe and had their whole thing ruined. If it was Achilles, I can't remember now. It was one of those Greek. Hey, we'll continue.
Oh, Samson.
No. Well, yes, but different. I like Samson. In short, the hero's journey sits at the core of what it means to be human and is the sacred destiny of all incarnated beings on this planet. Thankfully, it's fun to study. Where do we get started? Stage 0, the Mundane World. And if we're discussing the schizo's journey, bit of a continuation of our discussion of last week, this would be the realm of the NPC. In Joseph Campbell's monomyth, the adventure always begins in what he calls the world of the common day. The ordinary, everyday existence. The place the hero inhabits before anything extraordinary intrudes. I think it's worth mentioning that as a continuation of our last episode, we will sometimes be referring to the hero's journey as the schizo's journey. Because you have to be a little mystic and crazy to do this, right? Or to see these patterns. You probably are one if you're listening to this.
So, stage 0 represents a person before they begin to seriously question the world or the indoctrination handed down by family, school, religion, politics, media, and society. It kind of reminds me of how 0 is the number of the Fool card in the tarot.
A great many people never leave this stage. Like lots of boomers specifically never leave this stage and still believe whatever the TV tells them and dismiss anything not injected into them by megacorporations. Not all boomers, FYI, but a whole lot.
Yeah, not the boomers that listen to the whole rabbit.
You're the cool boomers. We like you. They continue to accept whatever the dominant institutions broadcast and dismiss anything that has not been pre-approved by those same institutions. At this level, the assumption is that the world functions more or less as advertised. Experts understand their fields and are not primarily driven by funding, incentives, and political pressure. Institutions are competent and trustworthy rather than corrupt or nepotistically handicapped by wasteful bureaucracy. History has already been settled rather than remaining the negotiated narrative of elites and the victors of wars. And unusual experiences can safely be dismissed as superstition, mental error, or something science has already explained away. The goal of the NPC is to follow the accepted life path the establishment indoctrinates from birth, education, employment, relationship, possessions, retirement, without ever asking who designed that path or whether it actually fits the individual walking it.
It's like all the stuff you're supposed to do.
As you probably know, the term NPC, or non-player character, comes from video games. In the video game world, NPCs follow programmed routines, repeat scripted dialogue, and only step outside their assigned role if a glitch occurs or the real player character makes them somehow. In the popular meme, the NPC symbolizes someone whose beliefs appear similarly pre-programmed. They repeat popular opinions and social expectations without examining why they hold to them.
And don't forget, they support the current things at all times.
This stage should not be treated as proof that ordinary people are stupid or unconscious. Most of us rely on social systems because no one has the time or knowledge to investigate everything personally. A person can live a conventional life and still be intelligent and thoughtful. You could still be an NPC and, have worth. The real weakness of stage 0 is not normality. It is unquestioned certainty.
Well, everyone says that, so it must be true.
Exactly. The trap here is that the same narrow-mindedness appears on the other side when the newly awakened seeker dismisses everyone who disagrees with them as an NPC.
All right, so in terms of our favorite mythologies, would this be the Shire in Lord of the Rings?
Yes, absolutely. It's you playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 on your Xbox when you're like 20 or 19 or something.
It's a safe place where nothing bad really ever happens. Although, if we put a more Gnostic spin on it, looking at the Matrix, Neo's shit office job is safe, but he's not enjoying it. He's not happy. He's not fulfilled. He's almost like dead inside. He's just nothing. Like he's become becoming an NPC. He has to fight against becoming one, it feels like.
To be a cog in a machine is like, yeah, I get it.
All right, what about Luke Skywalker? I guess that'd be Tatooine.
Yeah, he has a few times where he's like, I can't do that. I can't just up and leave. I have a routine.
What about Leia? There's someone who can never go home because that's
Oh, why
part.
not?
I don't want to spoil the movie, but this is a motif that we'll see. Like, you can never really return to the Shire. I haven't read the books, but like at the end of the journey, I think Frodo is so changed. He doesn't go back to the Shire, right? He has to like go to some faraway land, right?
Yeah, he goes to the Western lands, with with the gods.
So there's this uncomfortable thing where once you go beyond the Shire, you sort of never go back. It's never the same Shire. In the same way that you can never cross the same river twice, you can never go back home because you're not the same person you are when you left.
It's the same thing in real life when you go back to your hometown after growing up and moving away.
Yeah.
It's different. It's not the same. It will never be the same. You have to be okay with letting it grow and change because you have already done that, and that's why you're having this dissonance.
Or like if you've ever gone back to your hometown to look at the house that you grew up in, you're expecting to feel the same kind of home feeling, but it just feels like painful.
They're in my home, dude. They're in there. They're
Yeah.
living inside of my home. They kept the curtains, though. They kept curtains. They painted the house. Don't like that. They kept the curtains, though. I see them inside.
Even if nothing has really changed, and let's say even your parents still live there, it still doesn't feel the same.
It's been so long since I've even seen the film, but doesn't Samwise Gamgee sort of stop at the field and he's like, beyond here, this is the furthest I've ever been. And it's not like a happy
Yep.
moment. It's kind of a sad moment.
Well, it's
Yeah.
bittersweet, too.
It's
Like,
bittersweet.
I have to go and I want to, but like, I don't want to leave.
Because the wisdom of Samwise is that he sort of knows he can never go back.
Samwise is the real hero of that story.
I mean, that's what I remember. It's been a long time. I'm definitely going to dive back in now, but invariably something happens where you have to leave the Shire. Thus begins stage 1.
The call to adventure. The journey begins when the person senses that something is wrong. They notice contradictions in politics, culture, religion, history, economics, or the personal life that established explanations do not seem to resolve. What begins as a vague feeling develops into a serious question. Why does the world appear increasingly dysfunctional? And why does everyone else seem willing to accept it?
Like in history, when a person learns that a major historical event was more complicated than the simplified version presented in school, and then they begin asking what other details may have been overlooked. Or even more paradigm shifting, finding out that a historical event you'd believed all your life was totally fictional or not even half the real story, kind of like a myth or a legend.
Or Tiananmen Square.
Not allowed to talk about that. Rewind.
Or a conspiracy theory.
Did you know that they found the hijacker's passport on the ground and
Yeah,
it was given to a police officer before the second building collapsed?
ain't no way.
I'm just
So I think we've all experienced that moment where we see the black cat twice, the deja vu, and do a double take.
Ugh.
And it makes you question reality.
You know those people in the Florida Mall saw aliens. I'm telling
Dude, they
you.
so did. They totally did.
They totally
Ultra
did.
It's so true.
Terrestrials.
It's true.
Fucking super spectrum, guys.
Those people got pushed out of the Shire real quick. The Shire happens to be a mall in Florida, though. The point here is that it's unsettling when someone starts to wake up and see the lies of their culture. This tendency to overlook the evils or irregularities of our civilization is precisely the meaning behind The Shining's Overlook Hotel. All you have to do is begin looking at the details and the devil emerges.
Guys. It's 9/11 right now here.
You know what that means, right?
What?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Building 7 is about to go. That's what that means.
No, here, officer, take this ID.
Person begins wondering why entertainment, advertising, and social media seem designed to keep them distracted, angry, worried, rage-baited, divided, insecure, and most of all, constantly consuming. Strangely, Carl Jung, prominent in this field though he be, admits that the journey of the hero reflects the psychological process, but is categorically different. Because, while psychology is intended to help us integrate into the mundane world and cope with all these negative aspects of society in a healthy way, the hero's hero's journey is, once it's fully accomplished, moves the initiate rapidly out of the sphere and beyond the domain of the human civilized world. So I thought that was fun that even he admitted that. He's like, well, basically in psychology, we're just trying to like get you used to all the ways that civilization is sick and get you back into the workplace. But like if you're doing the hero's journey, you never go back. Like,
Yeah, but it's a spiral upward. So it is like you are returning to the start, but you're on a higher octave when you come back.
this is why
You know what I
people
mean?
accuse Jung of being an occultist more than a psychologist, because he kind of is.
Yeah, I would agree. But like, I love that he likens the hero's journey, like a staple of our culture, of the way that we socialize with each other, with what we all believe at the same time. He likens it to a dream or a coincidence, mystical experience, a psychedelic encounter, or even a period of intense self-reflection. So of that, he says that this stuff seeps through our reality at all times, even within our own dreams. And that's, to me, that's why certain movies and stuff that we allude to when we're talking about the hero's journey, all of these things are based on a fundamentally like inherent instinct of the entire human species of all times.
That's what I like about it.
It's on a higher octave, so we can like trust this storyline. Is like your life will be a series of these where you just keep going either up or down. So I don't know. I just like, I'm really into that symbolism.
The whole point of stage 1 is just that something wakes you up.
Or you get triggered.
I think it's much deeper than that, because triggering is like can be anything, but something that like wakes you up in a hero's journey has to be a complete paradigm shift.
It can trigger your higher self to come out.
That makes sense. Mhm.
You know, when I was thinking of these different stages, the movie that kept coming into my mind was The Matrix for some reason. So the classic example of what we're talking about is when Neo wakes up at his computer screen with a message seemingly intended for him. It says, "The Matrix has you. Follow the white rabbit. Knock, knock, Neo."
Yep.
This is also a great example of what Carl Jung refers to as the herald. Now, this is somebody who usually appears during this stage. Jung says this is the preliminary manifestation of the deeper powers that are about to break into the hero's life. Now, the herald is frequently ugly, animal, dark, or socially marginal. Think about it. Ben Kenobi, he's not just Ben Kenobi. He's crazy old Ben. Morpheus is straight up described as a black terrorist. And then, if we're looking at the new film, Agamemnon in Odysseus is portrayed as dark, foreboding. But he's the herald that initiates the adventure. If you guys think of a herald from your favorite mythology, let me know. In the text, Carl Jung mentioned that the sick, the old, and the dying man from the story of the Buddha, that's the example from that hero's journey. And so basically, like when young Siddhartha realizes that people get old and die, he's like, what the heck? People get old and die? I gotta figure this shit out.
Triggered.
Carl Jung also mentions a few features of this stage. It can unfold in a few different ways. For starters, the hero might voluntarily answer the call. The example given in the text is Theseus and the Minotaur. This guy hears about the Minotaur eating the Athenian children. He's like, I gotta go stop this. Sometimes, however, the journey or the herald forces the hero.
So it's like an external force that's placed upon the hero?
Yeah, sometimes the call to adventure is not voluntary. Sometimes the hero is forced to answer the call. Classic example I could think of, Luke Skywalker. They kill his whole family. Spoiler. Occasionally it's an accident.
Whoopsies, fell into a hero's journey.
Whoopsies, I did a murder.
So one example that pops into my mind, Follow the White Rabbit. I don't believe Alice in Alice in Wonderland is intending to go on the hero's journey. I think she accidentally ends up in it by following the White Rabbit, which is kind of the opposite of Neo because they actually talk about that. Like Neo chooses to. He's not accidentally.
Or like Spirited Away, where they accidentally end up in the other realm.
Oh, that's right. It's an accident in Spirited Away.
Yeah, but there's an essence of like this insatiable curiosity or adventurousness that permeates these stories. And I think it's an important part of the hero's journey is that you have to be curious enough to want to know what's out there for it to be an impactful story.
You know who else kind of answers the call? Clark from the back rooms.
Yeah, technically, but he's a fallen hero. He's like an anti-hero.
He's a great example of someone who answers the call, but then fails.
He's stuck in the abyss.
You know what the accidental or the blunder into a hero's journey reminds me of is in Clerks. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. He's like,
oh my God, yes.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yes, 100%.
So good.
I don't think Will Smith in Die Hard is also intending to go do some shit that evening either. I think he's just visiting his wife or something. Like, oh, it's not Will Smith. I think we need to reshoot Die Hard with Will Smith now. But yeah, Bruce Willis, excuse me. I don't know how
Oh my god, dude.
Pretty much the same person, whatever.
But yeah, the call to action can sometimes be dangerous and like scary. All of us, like regular folk, us sheep and NPCs, we want a hero that will go into the sewer pipe and unclog it for us because it's so gross and icky.
There's even a third way you can receive the a fourth? It's a fourth. Yeah, you can have an internal revelation. The example that comes to mind, Danny from The Shining.
So how does that work?
He has a growing sense that something is wrong. Danny's psychic ability, his ability to shine, is subtly warning him that he is about to be drawn into the maw of the world's evil, basically. It's go watch the movie. But
Oh.
he's given a vision, and this is what initiates the hero's journey for him.
So that would be like an aha moment almost.
Or an moment.
Triggered.
Triggered. Internally triggered. Emotional damage.
The important part is that before the call, the hero's world exists within the realm of family, society, institutions, a conventional life plan. But after that, after the call to adventure, no more.
After that, he's F in the A.
There's danger, there's impossible delight, there's all sorts of things.
You're not a normie anymore.
You're in a
Nope.
hive of scum and villainy.
Now,
And you can never go back.
you can't, but people sort of intuitively know this. And oftentimes, it leads to stage 2, almost always does.
The refusal of the call. The first response is often not curiosity, but exhaustion. The person may become apathetic, cynical, withdrawn, or determined to ignore everything happening around them. They want to be left alone because investigating the world's contradictions feels overwhelming, and accepting the ordinary explanation would be far more comfortable than discovering that their assumptions may have been wrong.
Can you guys think of any famous examples that I didn't include in the notes?
I mean, it's also Star Wars, but a different Star Wars with Rey. She kind of does the whole like, I don't want to leave. Can I just not?
Because her stupid parents might come back.
I mean, that's the reason people don't want to go on the adventures, because their parents hold them back. Or a projection of their parents hold them back, if you're asking Carl Jung. So, to bring it back to Star Wars, you must learn the ways of the Force if you were to come with me to Alderaan.
Alderaan? I'm not going to Alderaan. I gotta get home. I'm in for it as it is.
I got blue titty milk to drink.
But I need your help, Luke. She needs your help. I'm getting too old for this sort of thing.
I can't get involved. I've got work to do. It's not like I like the Empire, I hate it, but there's nothing I can do about it right now. It's such a long way from here.
That's your uncle talking, Luke.
Sorry, I can't help it. It's where I comes from.
I'm walking here.
That was fun.
So Luke famously tells Obi-Wan he can take him as far as Anchorhead, but no further. So Luke famously rejects the call to adventure.
I mean, a lot of heroes have doubts. They doubt themselves or like if they're supposed to be doing this in the first place.
I don't know if we're going a little off topic here, but in terms of Luke's story arc, he rejects the call, and then he finds out Uncle Owen and his whole family's been killed. It's not excitement or a want of growing up or redemption that calls him to adventure. It's hatred.
Or like a personal vendetta.
Yeah, Luke is not called to adventure because he answers the call of Obi-Wan. He listens to the dark side. That's what starts his adventure.
Yeah, it's not apathetic either.
No.
I actually do think that this is what happens when a lot of times when you reject the call to adventure is like the forces that be force you into it, and then you're kind of angry about it. Like, I never wanted to do this. And especially if it hits you where it hurts, like, your childhood, your parental units.
Jung explains this in some depth.
The refusal of the summons converts the adventure into its negative. Walled in boredom, hard work, or culture, the subject loses the power of significant affirmative action and becomes a victim to be saved. Flowering world becomes a wasteland of dry stones, and his life feels meaningless, even though, like King Minos, he may through titanic effort succeed in building an empire of renown. Whatever house he builds, it will be a house of death, a labyrinth of cyclopean walls to hide from him his minotaur. Ooh, so good.
I love reading Carl Jung. It's like doing drugs, but being sober.
It's like heavy shit, heavy, dark shit.
King Minos is given as the paramount example of the call refuser. This is the guy who was supposed to sacrifice the perfect white cow to Poseidon for helping him kick everybody's ass and making him top dog. Instead, he keeps it for himself. He rejects his role as public servant for personal gain, essentially. Campbell's point, when you make yourself your own god, the real god, or living force of the psyche, appears as a monster. I thought Jung was clever here to explain that all tyrants are call refusers.
So in The Matrix, Cypher's the infamous call denier. His eating of the steak, I thought possibly was a reference to King Minos.
Do we have a deal, Mr. Reagan?
You know, I know this stake doesn't exist.
So perfect. There is like, you're living in hell if you refuse the call, basically. You're the bad guy now, forever.
It's funny because you know that stuff in your gut, but then it takes like an intellectual like Jung to like really put it on paper. But like poets and musicians and storytellers have always told it like that. And I'm happy we've talked about some of these myths on the show because I wouldn't know what the hell Jung is talking about. Like, yeah, the whole bit is King Minos kicked everyone's ass. Poseidon gave him a white bull he was supposed to sacrifice, but instead he kept it. And then as punishment, Aphrodite makes his wife it. And then that's what makes the Minotaur.
Good move.
All he had to do was sacrifice the bull.
It's just a bull.
Everything after that is cursed, though.
But now his only son is the fucking monster.
And he has to hide it. Like, his creations are shameful. And then the person that builds the labyrinth, Daedalus, even he can't escape the labyrinth. So like we build our own prison walls by trying to hide our shame.
Yeah.
Which is why there's a labyrinth in the Overlook Hotel. Because by overlooking these things, we've created a prison for ourselves that eats kids.
Wow.
That's pretty f***y.
Also, The Shining is a really good film. You should go watch it. But that brings us to
Stage 3, supernatural aid. This is not yet the adventure itself. It is the appearance of help, guidance, protection, a tool, a word, a thread, or a new way of seeing. A help that makes passage through the threshold possible. The helper represents the supportive side of the deeper forces that issued the call in the first place. The call itself was already the first announcement that this initiatory figure was approaching. Quote, for those who have not refused the call, the first encounter of the hero journey is with the protective figure, often a little old crone or old man.
You know me.
Who provides the adventurer with amulets against the dragon forces he's about to pass. End quote.
What is that from?
I think that's a quote from Jung that I put in there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? It just, for some reason, I get this image of like a guy in a trench coat with like the inside of the trench coat is just like lined with pocket watches. He's like, hey kid,
Yeah.
you want to buy some pocket
What
watches?
you buying?
Buying? What are you selling?
No, really, it often
Thanks-
is like
Thanks, stranger.
no, like a semi-homeless black guy. Yeah, I mean we're
Or an old dude, or like some
It's like
some
an
homeless,
old, like mutant. Yeah.
some homeless
Gun rhymes
guy.
with fun for a reason, stranger.
Stranger.
And this kind of ties back into the whole like a divine figure or a god could be in disguise as like a homeless person. So like you actually
Or like a beggar. Yeah.
you actually might need one of those pocket watches for your journey. You might get on the journey if you didn't get one and be like, shit, I really needed a pocket.
Oh, I see. He's saying it's going to be somebody like that you'd expect.
Can you guys think of who the supernatural aid is for Danny in The Shining?
The ghost girls.
No.
The black dude. That's
Yeah.
Oh, the black
Halloran.
guy. The magic Negro.
Yes.
How'd you like some ice cream, Doc?
That is a trope that Spike Lee has talked quite a bit about. We are actually going to talk about it because
But it's a thing.
Or in Mandy, the guy shows up in the trailer, or he goes to the guy's trailer. I can't remember, but he needs like a special weapon. In what is it, Neverending Story? Even to bypass the threshold with the Sphinxes, he needs like special instructions and stuff, right?
well, doesn't he get help from that weird little like Goblin Man thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So oftentimes it is a disenfranchised or like a weird thing, right? Like it's some disenfranchised thing.
That provides the first boon onto their adventure.
But according to Jung, it can be a little more, what is it, like abstract than that?
Right, like the help could actually a book, perhaps a teacher they meet, some philosophy they learn, religious tradition, even in modern times like an online creator or having a psychedelic experience can inform this, or perhaps even a perceived psychological insight or an inspirational message.
Or a heretic.
I mean, I could see that because a lot of people are, again, they're triggered by, there's an aha moment, like a eureka moment that happens.
I would imagine in Lord of the Rings, this is Gandalf.
I mean, he was the introduction to the journey and the guide for them into the first part. So, yeah.
It is only after this encounter that the hero begins to believe that although society may not rescue them, personal will, spiritual practice, knowledge, or inner transformation become the key to walking forward.
I imagine that right now you're feeling a little bit like Alice, tumbling down the rabbit hole.
You could say that.
I see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he's expecting to wake up. Ironically, that's not far from the truth. Do you believe in fate, Neo?
No,
Why not?
because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
I know exactly what you mean. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You've felt it your entire life. There's something wrong with the world, and you don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. You know what I'm saying?
The Matrix.
Do you want to know what it is?
Yes.
The Matrix is everywhere. It's all around us. Even now in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, into a prison that you cannot taste or see or touch. A prison for your mind.
Since when is Morpheus Southern? Like,
I don't know, because I'm fucking from the South. I just did it. I'm sorry. That
Yes.
was nice. You know what I'm saying?
Now, although the Wachowski brothers subvert our
Sisters.
now, although
yeah, sisters, you mean? you
the
heretic.
Wachowski at the time they were brothers, okay.
Siblings.
Although the Wachowski siblings subvert our expectations later, Morpheus as supernatural help is playing off a well-known and racist cinematic trope of the white hero's selfless helper being a magical black man. So other examples include The Green Mile, The Legend of Bagger Vance, The Shining, as we already mentioned, and Bruce Almighty.
Wow.
Isn't it also in like Huckleberry Finn or
Yeah.
no Tom Sawyer?
Yeah. That's a really old example. That's Mark Twain.
What about Kill a Mockingbird?
Oh, yeah. That's
Well,
it's a
okay.
really old trope.
Yeah, but
This even happens to Edgar Casey, remember?
yeah.
It's some
It's-
uneducated
it's
black guy
trying
that
to
gets him
make-
into the Bible.
It's trying to make the exotic or unknown, like it's the symbol conflicting with the actual archetype. Because the archetype says that it could be anyone.
It does.
It doesn't have to be something that's like exotic or like foreign to people of that time. So I feel like that's why that trope exists.
Exotic, foreign, or even disenfranchised. Like sometimes you see it as a Native American.
Or a hobo.
Or a
Like
hobo.
just some homeless weirdo that, he looks like a drunk.
I mean, now that we're talking about it, it feels kind of biblical because we know that who Daniel was taken captive and then he's like forced to interpret the dreams of the Babylonian king.
Or you have like Tonto with the Lone Ranger.
Okay, yeah.
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 It's actually Neo rejecting this trope that makes Neo the one because he's told that Morpheus will sacrifice his life for the one. And he's like, that's some stupid magic black man trope. I'm not doing that. I'm going to go save Morpheus. And that's actually what turns him into the hero, is him going to save Morpheus. He like rejects the magic black man sacrificing himself selflessly for the white hero. He like rejects it and goes to save Morpheus. And that's what makes him the hero. It's a really good movie. Now, instead of an amulet or some other thing, Morpheus offers Neo the infamous red pill. Now, quite a bit of conversation has happened about whether or not Neo really had the choice to take the red pill or not, which I think the Barbie movie does an incredible job of lampooning. The funny thing, I like the Barbie movie does it so well because if the hero is like rejecting the call, the helper is supposed to like force them, which is what happens in the Barbie movie.
So, what'll it be then? You can go back to your regular life and forget any of this ever happened? Or you can know the truth about the universe. The choice is now yours.
The first one, the high heel.
No, we'll do a redo. You're supposed to want to know.
I don't.
Babe, listen. You have to want to know, okay? Do it again.
I'm not adventure Barbie. I'm stereotypical Barbie. I'm like the Barbie you think of when someone says, think of a Barbie. That's me. I'm ready to forget now.
No, you're doing this one. I just gave you a choice so you could feel some sense of control.
So there is no option one?
No, you have to fix the rip yourself. Don't blame me, blame Mattel. They make the rules.
And then another classic example in Dante's Inferno, this would be Beatrice. But if you'd like to get to stage 4 and cross the threshold with us, well, you're going to have to send me $5 at www.patreon.com/thewholerabbit, where said $5 will not just get you the extended half of this episode. You'll get the extended half of all of our episodes going back over 7 years. I'll send you a vinyl sticker of our big bunny Baphomet cover art, and you'll get the keys to our Discord server, where you can talk to us about some of the specific nuances, what we're talking about, in your favorite fiction. Why? Because I'm actually interested.
Also, don't you want to know the rest of the hero's journey?
I mean, you could just watch anything and figure it out yourself, but it would be more fun to do it with us, don't you think?
Do it with us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Group
especially
setting is
Mara
very
here.
nice. Oh, come on.
This is like one of my favorite topics ever. Every episode is actually just about this topic. And the Timaeus.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good pattern.
Because
right?
that's how you saw Sophia.
It's true. This formula does work.
That relates to our previous episode. It's like, if you start the schizo's journey, it's the same thing. You are initiated, but you have no guidance now. Good luck.
There's a really good stage later in the hero's journey that basically tells you that despite all the BS you're going to encounter, because there's a lot of BS, it's worth it. I think that is the most important thing to remember. The second most important thing is the $5 to listen to the rest of the episode. Thank you, everybody. Eat carrots and shoot lasers.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew.